It's Jonesy and the man is starting to go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's Jonesy and the man is starting to go. Yeah, 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 yeah.
You just did the sweet spot of the tomato soup at the bottom of the cup. It's the best part. Yes, we're rolling now. This is our podcast. This is what happens.
Really, this is what happens.
This is the reality.
We are like elderly people. I'm going to stop using that ageist language.
Yeah.
But we've made the room smell like some kind of facility because we're drinking a powdered soup and it's delicious.
The bottom part is the best part.
And you know what? The tomato's the best one. It's almost like, and I don't have no shame in saying so, of all the ice cream flavours, vanilla is my favourite. Don't read anything to my other parts of my life about that.
So you like tomato and vanilla?
Not together.
No, that'd be
Let's talk about
hearty.
Let's talk about Spencer Tunick.
Yeah, so we missed this. The show was so packed today, we missed talking about our old mate Spencer's Tunick.
This is the guy who photographs people en masse in the nuds, in public places. If you were going to do this on the weekend, speaking of having like a cup of soup or something, would you shred? He wants all types of body people, but you personally, would you shred?
If I was to do it, yeah.
No, if you're going to buy a picture, yes, of course, if you're going to do it.
Yeah. When I have, before I've performed nude, and I did, was very mindful of what I ate.
For how long?
Just a week or so, just to drop some of the fluid off my body, and I got a bit of got out in the sun, put a bit of
Did you have fake tan on?
I had fake tan as well. Not that.
When you say got out in the sun in a G-string?
No, just when I go for a paddle, I just didn't wear my shirt.
Oh.
Like one of those he-men that you see.
Heave men. Well, this is the latest one he's done. I mean, he's done projects at Bondi Beach, at the Sydney Opera House. He's been doing this since 1992. Mm. And so he got thousands of men and women to strip naked on Brisbane's Story Bridge to take part in the art shoot. They've said the bridge will be closed for this art event. It'll feature thousands of live nude figures in celebration of diversity, equity, inclusion and Brisbane's vibrant LGBTQI plus communities and allies. So they all had to walk onto the bridge in the nude. That's the thing. You picture yourself being in the finished photo, but you have to get there. You had to walk in the nude to find your position. And speaking of position, in one shot, and I'm looking at this photo now, everyone crouches over on all fours with your head tucked into your chest. So you've got to crouch quite up. You're not lying flush on the ground. So if you put your head up at the wrong time.
Yeah, there'd be a time.
You're looking at someone's clacker.
Yep. Straight up there.
Would you ever do it?
No.
You only are nude.
I'd be the sort
on
of guy.
On stage when you're doing show, when you get paid for it.
I'd be the sort of guy.
Let me give reference to what I'm talking about. This is when you were in the Full Monty.
Real Full Monty, yeah.
The real Full Monty.
Yeah.
As opposed to what?
Well, there was a movie, The Full Monty.
Well, we know you weren't on that.
No, and the real Full Monty was an incarnation of that where we got roped in by Todd McKenney and Shane Jacobson to bear off in the nude for prostate awareness.
And did you have to crouch and moon the audience in the way that these people are?
No, we just had to dance on the stage to You Can Leave Your Hat On, sung by Tom Jones. Mm-hmm. It was good.
Was it? No, it was. It was great. The show was great. A lot of great awareness about men's health. If you had crouched over, you could have had a medical exam at the same time.
It could have been killed two birds with one stone. You, at the time, flew off out of Sydney as it was happening.
I had to arrange a living room shoot in Hawaii so I could not be here.
Yeah, so
I went to great pains. I personally funded that entire trip.
I wonder, though.
Either that, I would have had to throw an acid in my own eyes.
And we don't want that because you've got lovely eyes. Spencer Tunick, though, how did he get his start? He did it in 1992. How did he get it going? Well, I often wonder, it's like him and Christo, the guy that wraps major monuments and stuff.
He did a whole, was it North Head or South Head in Sydney?
With canvas.
Like a whole cliff face.
Yeah, so he wraps it. So how do these conceptual artists get their start?
Particularly the nudie one, particularly Spencer Tunick. Does he have to go and seek counsel? Imagine the T's and C's, the terms and conditions.
Well, I would imagine, like Banksy and any of those other street artists, a lot
of red tape.
Well, yeah, you can't ask permission because...
he's closed the bridge. They'd all be run over if he didn't get permission.
Well, I mean, now that he's a big deal and everyone knows about Spencer Tunick, but before, in the early days, where would he get pictures of masses of people? Where would he do that at?
Well, I don't know. He would have been an underground artist and just saying, I'm doing this incredible project.
Yep.
And maybe right at the beginning they were just flash mobs. Well, they flashed their mobs at each other without permission. Quick, get one shot.
Yep.
And then the bigger and bigger he got and they became more and more famous. Maybe then you go to council and say, here's the thing. I want people to strip off. Here's the paperwork.
A lot of T's and C's.
Yeah. Terms and conditions.
And other words that rhyme with that.
Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. Yeah.
This is on the cutting room floor.
Let's talk about sculptures by the sea. This is it's world class. Hundreds and hundreds of sculptors from all around the world exhibit their sculptures on the coastal walk between Bronte and Bondi Beach. It is spectacular.
I want to see it, but I've never seen it.
You've never seen it?
I've never seen it. I always look at it on the telly, on the news. I go, yeah, I want to go and see that this year. And then it comes around and then I don't go.
My friend won it last year.
What with?
Well, he does incredible work with boulders. You know that thing we've got in our courtyard that's a collection of boulders and it looks like a young
Yes.
person with. He made that years and years ago.
Well, you got art in
Years.
your backyard.
And it's a big, beautiful boulder that he's found and shaped and sculpted, but it was just the most beautiful thing to behold.
I like to confuse people. I like to get like an old shopping bike and then get an e-bike and put it in like a shopping cart and put an e-bike in the shopping cart and just leave it near.
No, Brendan, I know you're
people
not
would
that
think
person.
that's art.
No, you're not that person.
I went to art school.
I know, so you shouldn't be that person who says, I could do that, art's stupid. You should not be that
That's
person.
what all artists say.
I also, in my backyard, my uncle had made a series of fiberglass zebras and
Yeah.
I've got one of those in my backyard.
I know a lot of people, though, have never met this uncle. A lot of people are saying, not me, that you actually nicked it.
Oh, come on.
And this so-called uncle.
Uncle Alan made
Alan.
it out of fiberglass and Auntie Julie, his wife, painted it.
Seems to be a lot of details in this story now. Seems overly
Alan and Julie, the names.
seems overly complicated.
They're very good artists.
Of course they
And
are.
I'm very proud to have that in my backyard.
Have you ever got on it and ridden your zebra?
No. It's on wheels. I can move it around.
Yeah. Have you ever?
And the number of people that come over and go, oh, look, there's a giraffe. They do. You would be stunned at how many people say that.
But you've never straddled it.
No. When they live in Canberra, when they brought it up to my place, it was on the back of a ute and dogs barked all the way, apparently.
Yeah. Well, you would.
Feet
It's
were
not.
sore. But
Anyway,
anyway, the reason I'm talking about
why are
sculptures
we
by
talking?
the sea
Why?
is because people are outraged that there's been footage of the Surf Lifesaving Club having a sausage sizzle. A sausage sizzle, as we know, is a sausage in a hot dog roll, sometimes with
no, just
with
one
onion.
piece of bread, really.
This is a hot dog roll. I
They're
think,
quite
this one.
economical to make.
Well, this with onions, it costs $6.
yeah, that's.
Now, I'm not a big consumer of sausage sizzles. How much would it normally cost?
Originally started off at about $2. Now they're probably teetering when you go to Bunnings at about $3.50, I would say.
And at a
I haven't
local
bought
school
one.
fete or something? How much would it
School
normally
fete would be cheaper than that. School fete would be about the $2.50 mark.
So people are right to be
is
outraged that it's $6.
There is a sliding scale of pay, but you're in Glamorama, so a lot people there have got a lot of coin. It's raising money for the clubbies.
That's true, but I think it's an assumption that people around there have a lot of money. There's a lot of backpackers, a lot of travellers, a lot of people who are sharing flats with 100 other people. It's not all big richies.
Yeah, $6 is steep. It's heading towards 10. It's like the $10 beer. I remember someone saying once you accept buying a beer for $10, then you'll pay anything.
But you're a glass half. Is it empty or full when you see $6 equals $10? The minute it's over $5, are you rounding it up?
Yeah. I'm like Ray's. You know Ray's? It's a great account thing. So you get a Ray's account. So if you go and buy a coffee, say for $4.50, it'll round it up to $5 to that nearest denomination.
And you're paying them more money.
No, and it goes into account, a special account, and then you've got money for a rainy day.
I see.
Good idea. This is the stuff
see.
that we should be coming up with. These are the ideas.
Do you think any politicians would be photographed eating those sausages?
What? Yeah.
Actually, what about when King Charles was here and they made him turn the sausages at
I know.
Parramatta? I'm surprised people didn't confuse him with his fingers and start chomping on them.
I think someone was taking the piss. They said, hey, Charles, go and cook these sausages over there. Sure, you know.
Next minute, he's turning his own fingers on the grill.
See, Camilla's licking them.
But remember when, was it Bill Shorten?
Yeah.
was at a public function. If there a whole lot of politicians, particularly run up to election, are photographed eating things, and no one wants to eat the sausage.
You don't want to look like you're knobbing it off. So you can say
It's just, at least can we talk in euphemisms somehow?
Well, it's the podcast. But poor old Bill, he tried to
avoid knobbing it
outmaneuver.
off, and he bit it sideways and just looked
like
very unusual.
He was being Bob Dylan.
So he's playing the harmonica. But David Cameron, who
you know what, that ruined his election campaign. If he wasn't for that sausage and his running style.
He looked like he was being chased by a monster, and he was filmed out jogging the week before.
Remember, he came in for an interview,
and you mentioned that.
And
he
I said, "What
quite
about?"
offended.
He got really wounded.
He jogs heel first.
Yeah, I was worried about his arches. I said, "Bill, your feet, you need some arch support there. You're gonna have bone spurs. You're gonna have shin splints."
David Cameron, the English Prime Minister, was photographed eating a similar sausage with a knife and fork, and people went, "Oh, come on!" But they're all too scared.
You just got Gladys Berejiklian, our New South Wales
very
Premier,
unflattering photos.
She just gobbed it straight in there. She's like, I don't know.
Who? You don't know. What about when you eat a banana? You've told me this.
Yeah.
And this isn't for any not looking weird reasons. You don't like the idea of holding a banana skin because you think somehow that looks weak. So you unpeel the whole banana and walk around with a nude banana.
Yeah.
Why would you do
What's your
that?
beef with
It's
that?
got its own carry case called the skin.
Yeah, but then you look like some monkey or like almost like a comedic character. You're walking around with bits of peel on your hand and you're
But
like,
don't you think you look weirder walking around with your fingers, all the other fingers out because you don't want to get stinky banana hand, but you're holding a nude banana?
All I do is I hold the banana, but I eat like Brad Pitt in Ocean's 11. Do you remember Ocean's 11? Brad Pitt just always ate on the go. And he ate very discreetly. I'm a discreet eater.
Do you snap a banana in bits to eat it?
I break it in bits and I'll be talking to you. I could be eating a banana. You won't even notice. Did you watch Matt Preston when he was on MasterChef? He used to eat like an amoeba. You never saw food on his face. You never saw anything. You never saw him chew. He just absorbed.
A series of osmosis.
And
those noodles are delicious.
That's how I eat. In my life, I eat very discreetly.
So if you were coming up to an election, you had to eat a sausage sizzle, what would you do?
I'd knob it straight off so I get all the attention. Work for Linda Lovelace.
Yeah, you'd be doing all the rude poses. Let's end.
Hey, hey, get ready, everybody. Here is some more of Jonesy and Amanda's Gotta Move On. Hey, hey, get ready, everybody. Here is some more of Jonesy and Amanda's Gotta Move On.
On the cutting room floor, we didn't get round to talking about the Japanese village that's struggling with low population have come up with an ingenious way, as the Japanese do.
Yeah, we'll tell you where it is first before we get to the ingenious way that they're solving this problem. This is in the hamlet of Ichinono. It has less than 60 residents and only one child. What happens is that once the kids get old enough, they encourage their children to attend college, usually an hour away in Kyoto. So there's less than 60 residents, as I said here, and many of them are elderly. What they have done to create a feeling of community and a feeling of a bustling society is they have these life-size stuffed mannequins that sit on their porches, that sit in parks. They're all over the place. As someone said, we're probably outnumbered by puppets. So there's some pictures here that I'm looking at. What do you reckon? They're like stuffed toys, but big.
Yeah, I was hoping that they would be sort of human-esque, but...
Oh, no, they're not like...
Yeah, well, you want to...
No.
Well, look, they've got like a Minnie Mouse sitting on a chair a bedraggled Minnie Mouse. It looks like one of those big dolls that the Garbos put on the front of their trucks. You know when the Garbos, they find a doll in the bin and then they put it on the front of the truck. It always looks a bit worse for wear.
It's very big, but that's next to a sort of a child-sized one. And then there's two adults and a child in this other one.
And what about that funny-looking stuffed, that woman there with the blue
That's real. That's a person. That's a person.
Looks like she's been on the front of a garbage truck.
You know what's interesting? The Prime Minister has said that he's vowing to help build up these rural areas because this is a big problem for Japan, and this is a big problem for countries that don't have immigration. Japan doesn't allow many immigrants, and they are the second oldest population in the world. So that's what's happening here. They're going to run out of young people.
Sure.
So they're going to be populated by these enormous life-size
But doesn't
puppets.
Japanese have more population per square inch of kilometres? Before,
They've got a very big population,
Yeah.
but in these rural areas, there's
Yeah.
nobody.
Yeah.
There's nobody. And often immigrants will move to rural areas and keep them going. So that's just not happening here. So it's actually quite sad. So they're replicating a sense of community. For example, if that happened where you live, you'd have to get all these people to sit around and drink with you.
Yeah. Well, I've got all that now. They're all these dumb puppets drinking around me.
That's what they call you.
Yeah.
You shouldn't put your hand up their bums. That's the Muppets.
I'll have to get like a little, for you, there'd be a little troll doll just sitting there drinking some Sauv Blanc.
I'd have to replicate book club with a whole lot of puppets.
There you go, the Booze and Bitchin' Book Club.
Yeah, now with added puppets.
And now you could choose all the books you want to read, or your fairy porn that the girls don't want to read.
I'd be king of the world.
Because they want to read smarty books, but you just want to read the juice.
I haven't introduced them to my fairy smut yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my mission for next year.
For the Booze and Bitchin' Book Club.
Yeah.
Yeah. But until that time, you'll just stick to yourself, reading
Reading myself.
reading the books yourself.
Oh, I
is
will.
what I'm
I've
saying.
finished a series of 4 of them. I'm giving myself a breather,
Yeah, right.
just a breather before I go back
How
into it.
saucy are the scenes?
Very, very.
I know.
You know what they're saying, though? People laugh at this, but these books have brought women back to reading.
Oh, that's good.
It is good.
Yeah. It's like Penthouse Forum, the letters to Penthouse Forum.
Oh, you're in it for the articles.
Yeah, they got me reading. I never thought it had happened to me.
Yeah, I remember you had some staple burn.
It's very painful to get staple burn there, I tell you.
It's the cutting room floor. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The women, the men, the way they been started me history. Here's our podcast.
Is that how you're starting it?
Yeah.
Singing the theme from Old Sydney Town?
Yeah. Do you remember
Okay.
that, do you?
Yeah.
Remember that?
I remember going to Old Sydney Town with my father, my mother, and my brother, and we saw some poor NIDA graduates being whipped. And Dad said, "Have a go, you mug." And my brother and I were just so embarrassed. And Harley, as a Kiwi, finds it extraordinary that we would have a theme park where people get whipped.
Yeah.
It does seem amazing.
That's
doesn't
just
it?
his
Woohoo!
Saturday night. It is odd though, isn't it? It is. And Old Sydney Town.
Get scurvy, why don't you?
Kind of bit the dust there. When I was a kid, we used to have Founders Day quite regularly at school.
Yeah.
Did you have that?
Well, I don't know what we called it, but we'd just wear those mop caps, like a shower
Yeah.
cap, and try and dress with aprons
And-
on and replicate that stuff.
Yeah, and-
no Indigenous history we learned.
Absolutely
at
none.
all.
And there was like guys dressed as the red coats, and there was guys dressed as convicts.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it. And you made damper, and the teachers would flirt with each other.
Does anyone
Get a
actually
little
like
loose.
damper?
I love damper.
Do
Are you
you?
joking?
It's just kind of plain bread, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's great.
You're big on the carbs, though.
My granddad used to take us out to the bush and we make damper.
Didn't you also put ferrets down your pants?
Not down our pants. We go ferreting. We get the ferret. He'd borrow a ferret from a mate and you put it down the rabbit hole and then the ferret would scooch through the rabbit hole and at the other end of the rabbit hole you had a net and the rabbit would pop out and then he'd get his penknife, boonk, stun it on the head and then he'd wring its neck and then he'd slit its throat
And you had good memories of
and
all
he'd
of that.
peel all the flesh.
Oh,
Yeah, okay, boys, let's go and eat. I can't eat rabbit to this day.
How about damper? Sure.
Not because of that. It was just I just too
Bit
gamey.
gamey. Let's move on to the story I want to talk about today. Actually, here's a snippet of it in a sports show in America.
Fly to right by Torres. Betts in the corner. Does he have room? Fights with the fan. And they're going to say that it's an out and fan interference. And yeah, Betts has that ball in his glove, and this fan literally tries to take his glove off. Pries the ball out of there. A for effort.
Well, he won't be watching the game much longer.
So he's caught the ball.
Let me explain what's happened. This is game 4 of, you know how Americans have World Series
Mm-hmm.
in baseball? Is that their regular season or is World Series that anyone in the world can go. Someone from Peru can turn up.
No.
Their World Series is just their
America,
series. It's
which-
like our NRL and AFL seasons.
Yeah, which speaks volumes about America.
Okay. So the World Series, so we had a Yankee team, the Yankees fans versus the Dodgers. Listen to the name of these players. The Dodgers star, Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts. Because the Dodgers, they are the LA Dodgers now, but they used to be the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Really?
And then they moved over to LA.
Okay. Well, the Dodgers star,
Back to
Mookie
Mookie Betts.
was taking a catch right on the end of the edge of the field. And a New York, so he's reaching up to catch a hit from Gleyber Torres.
Yeah.
Gleyber is his first name. At the bottom of the first. You keeping up with me, Brendan? These are words I have no idea what I'm saying. So, yes, the LA star grabs the ball and then a fan, Austin Capobianco, he grabs the mitt and the ball because he wants to souvenir the ball. He grabs the mitt and very aggressively twists the player's arm around to take the ball.
Wow.
And also, I presume, to stop play.
And he's reaching over the bleacher.
Is that what it's called? Reaching over the wall. A second fan, another one in his Yankees outfit, grabbed the ungloved right wrist of Betts and eventually tried to get the ball to pop free. So these two fans disturbed play, but also aggressively ripped the ball out of his hands. I mean, it's one thing to wait till the ball's in the stadium, in the stadium where you are, and then fight over it. You don't fight the player for the ball.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, my Uncle Dave took me to a Collingwood and Carlton football game down at the MCG. And the ball, the big Alex Jezelenko booted the ball and it came through and it just came straight for me. And I played AFL back then. I was dreadful, the worst player in the history of the world. And it came straight for me and I just marked it right on my chest.
You caught it.
On my chest.
And it didn't bounce out?
No, and it was like, boom, straight there, and everyone was clapping me on the back. And they're going, good on you, Dave. Your boy there, he's a great AFL player, one in the making. Little did they know that I was the worst AFL player, and I was from Sydney, and my Uncle Dave's just kept that all on the down low.
You've never told me that story. Did you feel thrilled? Was there a camera on you?
No. Oh, there might have been, but it was 1979 or something.
You haven't got on a VHS at home?
No. It was.
Could you hear your ribs crack when it went gunk?
It landed with such force, but at the same time, you know when you get a safe catch?
You know that it's...
Do you ever have that? It's like when you're playing pool and you can almost see.
Yeah.
And this is what I think...
You feel it.
Yeah, what sports people go through. That I don't have... I think I've got this... My ADHD-riddled brain just cannot focus on one thing long enough.
But you felt it. You knew it was yours.
There was that moment, and I wasn't anxious or anything. I just saw it coming, and everything was almost... It was coming to me so slowly, I could just... And I just scooped it. But I still feel the visceral thump in my chest.
But I sometimes, if you go into a meat raffle or something or a charity raffle, you know when you're going to win. Do you ever feel that? It's that same thing. You just... The world seems to slow down and you go, they're going to call out my number. They're going to call out my name.
And that works for you?
Sometimes it does.
I didn't know this about you. You're buying tickets at meat raffles. Is this a regular thing?
No. But if you're at a charity thing or you've got if you're going to win it, you kind of know.
Yeah.
You feel it.
Yeah. I guess it's like in the dating world as well. You know, you knew that
you feel your chest crack.
You're onto a good thing. Do you know what I mean? In the dating world, you never had that?
I always used to find, I really like them, and then they talk a bit more and I go, yeah. You know, the thrill of it's happening, might be happening, and then, yeah, it's that.
Remember that story you were telling me about, when you were on Ray's show and you had a flirty sort of time with that guy?
What guy?
There was a guest and he was like an older comedian.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And I had a big flirty moment with him and I was wearing my dungarees.
So there's no access?
No access and no action because we went out for coffee or something.
Yep.
And he said he kept seeing going past the bins and there's a sign, do the right thing, do the right thing. So he put me in a bin.
And that's why you ended up out on the street with the recycling. Ahead of your time she was.
How did we end up there from this story?
Who can tell?
Enjoy.
Hey, get ready, everybody. Here is some more of Jonesy and the man is cutting room floor.
It's our podcast, The Cutting Room Floor.
Let's talk about ghosts. I know your reference for ghosts is The Ghost of Mrs. Muir, a show from the 1960s.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
So what was the premise of that again?
He was an old sea captain who lived in his old sea captain house. And
As a ghost.
As a ghost. And no one would buy the house because he was habiting the host.
He would
house.
He would appear
Yep.
wearing an argyle jumper and smoking a pipe.
And he'd scare off all the people. And then along came a young widow
Attractive woman.
with some kids, and she was quite attractive, and he was beguiled by her.
And she kind of got him.
Yep.
And
She said, I'm not leaving here. I'm not putting up with you. And they had this relationship.
it
but he
doesn't
was
get more
from another
platonic
world.
than that.
I was very platonic. It's just like a normal marriage. But he would.
But you and I used to speculate as to whether he'd watch her in the shower. That was never covered in the sitcom. or on
He'd
the
watch her when
toilet.
she was sleeping.
Would he?
Yeah. He'd say, Mom, if I was alive, I would.
Is that what he'd say?
Yeah.
No,
He would.
You make
yeah,
that
seriously.
bit up.
Yeah. He would look at her
She was a third his age.
as she was. He was very hunky. Who was the actor?
He was a hunky old guy, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
he was hunky old guy.
Anyway,
But she would be asleep and he'd just look at her.
what if she brought someone home?
Well,
That's when haunting goes bad.
That is covered in one of the episodes. A
Is
guy.
it like the Brady Bunch when they were trying to sell the house and the kids all dressed up and, woo, I can't buy this, it's haunted. Was it like that?
Is that the ghost saying
No,
that?
that was the person who was going to buy the house.
Yeah, because the little Brady kids, they
Yeah.
came. Yeah, but the ghost and Mrs. Muir, I've forgotten the ghost's name.
Did he
But
frighten off the...
he'd just make windows open or a sudden rain cloud appear.
and she'd go, oh,
And then
Ghost.
There was a guy, a smooth guy, doing his smooth moves.
and he got scared.
And because all of a sudden a big rain cloud, and maybe he made his dick fall off or something. I don't know. That's what I'd do. That's what I'd do. If it was the
You'd
ghost,
haunt me, wouldn't you?
I'd say, oh, man, you've been on the toilet for some time, haven't you?
Let me get back to why I'm talking about this. These paranormal investigators believe that ghosts, like humans, have a limited time span, and a number of the big famous ones are dying out. When all the data is considered, they say, this is after studying decades of paranormal analysis, they say it's quite a shock to think many of our once famous ghosts could be literally dying. Twice, I guess. The study included 100 well-known haunted spots with reportings of sightings and spirits spanning back hundreds of years. So the project Half-Life suggests that sentient ghosts seem to have a limited lifespan like humans. In simple terms, the second law of thermodynamics tells us that energy tends to disperse and degrade over time. So I would argue, they say, that our findings show ghosts conform to the second law of thermodynamics
Yeah.
and appear to run out of energy. Ghosts, they say, are interacting less than they were 100 years ago. You're going to enjoy this particular story, Brendan. One ghost in particular, who they think is yet to die its second death but is likely to happen very soon, is the ghost of Winston Churchill. The wartime PM is haunting the women's toilets
Oh.
on the Queen Mary, according to a ghoul hunter. This singer and ghost expert, Brocard, claims she saw the cigar-loving statesman stalking the hallways, lurking around the women's labs on the ship when it was docked in California.
Why would he go there? What? Yeah, come on.
Well, you can't smoke in other places on ships.
Oh, maybe that's what he's
maybe
smoking
the
the dunny.
toilets is the only place you can do it. But maybe he could have chosen the men's. So he's still being seen occasionally,
Sure.
but not as often as he was. So these ghosts are dying out.
Do you believe in ghosts?
No. Do you?
No.
I don't
but
believe that we know everything. I believe there's some paranormal stuff, but I don't think they're ghosts. Why do ghosts only appear at night? Why isn't it Mrs. Kafups who died 2 years ago?
Yeah, I agree.
Why do they choose to reveal themselves sometimes and not others, and some places and not others? Why don't they appear while we're on the radio here and go, man, do a time call? Why don't they do that?
The ghost of 80s DJs.
Yeah.
I've never had a paranormal experience, although the closest I've ever had, I worked at a resort down at Charlotte's Pass. It's called the Chalet Hotel,
Don't tell me that Winston Churchill was outside the ladies' toilet there too.
having a quiet smoke. And at the start of the season, I was down there with the new manager. So it's just him and I, this whole hotel. It's like
It's like The Shining.
it's very much Overlook Hotel. So it's already got that spectral vibe going about it. And so Greg and I, this is the manager, we're just sort of, having a few drinks in the bar, And I told him I'd been there the season before, and the Chalet Hotel famously had a ghost apparently called Muldoon who'd hung himself in the hotel. And a lot of people the year before had said, oh, have you seen Muldoon yet? You ever seen
Had you seen him?
No, I hadn't, but I used to smoke a lot of weed back then as well, so there was a lot of times, and even when there was a lot of people in the hotel, it was kind of creepy. And so I was telling Greg about this, and the challenge was the season before was to walk along the top corridor of the hotel, which was very, very long corridor and dark and creepy at night by yourself, and walk from the stairway to the end and back without running. And that was the challenge. And no one would witness you doing it. It was just a thing that you would do yourself. So I told Greg about this, and he said, we should do it. And I said, oh, you reckon? Okay, sure. And it's only him and I in the hotel, and I'm always curious about this stuff. And he said, you go first. And I said, of course, naturally, I'll go first. So I went up the stairs, and there's a very ornate staircase, and there's those little light sconces on the stairs. Mm-hmm. So there's just soft lighting. So I walked to the top of the stairs, and I'm going on the corridor, and I can still hear the music from the bar downstairs. And as I'm walking along, halfway along the corridor, the music suddenly dims to a point where I can't really hear it. All I can hear is the whooshing of my pulse in my ear. Mm-hmm. And then as I'm coming to the end, I swear I could see a shape. I'm not too sure. It's just, and when you're straining your eyes?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, and I look down and the wall sconce lights, they're not on anymore. And I'm going, hang on, why are the lights gone off? And then I'm looking at this shape and I thought, okay, I've gone far enough. There was still another, I reckon, 20, 30 feet till I got to the end of the corridor, but it was so dark I couldn't see it, just this. So I've turned around and started walking back.
Walking because you're allowed to run for the challenge.
And then all of a sudden I'm going, bugger this, and I'm running. And I've gone screaming down the staircase, and then something's jumped out. It's Lairdy, the guy, Greg. He was waiting at the middle landing to scare the hell out of me, but he didn't expect me coming down the stairs so quickly.
Was he switching the lights on and off?
Well, this is the thing. We both ran into each other, fell down the stairs, this big ornate staircase, and we're laughing so much about it. And I said, yeah, good on you dickhead. And he said, oh, man, you scared the shit out of me, and we're just doing that. And I said, good work turning the lights off. And he went, I didn't turn the lights off.
And whose shape was it? Was it him?
No, that was at the end of the corridor. He was waiting at the landing.
So you don't know.
I don't know what it was, but here's the thing. The light, I turned around and said, you'd switch the lights off. And I looked at the staircase and the lights were back on. But then I thought, were the lights on all the time? And it was the power of suggestion.
Oh.
It was really.
Oh, so that doesn't answer whether there was something there or not.
I think a lot of it, as I get older, at that time, if you'd asked me, I was 19 back then. If you asked me, I'd say, yeah, I believe in ghosts. I think it's more a power of suggestion in your mind.
And maybe you're smoking less dope now.
Yeah, I'm off the weed now, of course.
Okay, kids, that's it for today. Come back tomorrow for more Jonesy and Amanda's Cutting Room Floor.